Last night, Relogic dropped what is quite possibly the best update they have ever made. It's only a hotfix, it doesn't do much, but it made some incredible changes to some of the biggest issues in 1.4.5, and it showcases something that I think is very important to remember about Terraria, and that is that Relogic does listen to player feedback and wants to make the game better. I got a comment on a YouTube short the other day that said I haven't said a single positive thing about the update. Now, that video was on a comment about how Kativa hyperbeamed me in Palworld. It really wasn't talking about Terraria at all, but it got me thinking that if you haven't watched my streams and you take YouTube titles at face value, you might think I really dislike 1.4.5. I don't. There are things that I don't like, but I haven't really been worried about most of them. Even the most egregious, nightmarish balancing issues like roller skates and stylish scissors existing don't worry me at all, because those are things that the developers are going to patch. The biggest mistake in 1.4.5 easily was not letting players toggle secret seeds in the seed menu after they had been unlocked. And now, a week later, it's been hotfixed in. You never have to memorize the seeds or type them in again. They will remain permanently unlocked here. We've got bulk crafting now. Just the other day, someone told me that the main thing they disliked about the new crafting UI was that it doesn't allow you to craft in bulk. Bad luck no longer. What? Relogic thought this was a good idea? Well, it's gone now. It's up there with negative torch luck as a terrible idea that Relogic had for negative luck. And huge, massive, incredible change. The Skyblock seed only affects worlds generated with the Skyblock seed. Prior to this, any world with less than 10% block density, that is 90% of the world is empty space, was treated as a Skyblock world. That meant it was impossible to have a custom Skyblock map unless you wanted all of the official Skyblock features in it, like the super high slime spawn rates. It meant that the Skyblock that people liked to play in 1.4.4 was not possible in 1.4.5 because they were forced to be official slime block worlds. But Relogic listened and fixed it pretty quickly, all things considered. Whips, thank God, whips are fixed. There were alternative animations that got added, but those animations had different hitboxes, meaning your attacks would just randomly have different hitboxes, and it felt awful. We still have the animations, but their hitboxes match the old whip hitboxes, so it doesn't feel like Summoner just got shafted anymore. The Mushroom Staff got a huge damage buff. That's fantastic, because 5 damage on a post-evil boss minion felt pretty awful. It felt weak and underwhelming. Even if it could be buffed through whips, and they benefited from local iframes, so having a large number of them was good compared to other pre-hard mode minions, it felt bad. I think it was particularly bad because it becomes available at the same time as the Meteor Whip, which synergizes terribly with Mushroom Boy. Never used these together, but a lot of players did because they become available at the same point, and they walked away hating Mushroom Boy. The Flink Staff is back down to 6 Flinks Fur. Great change. I did have to farm 10 Flinks Fur with a Finch Staff in mouse form a couple days ago. It was miserable, but no one is ever gonna have to do that again. And the Thunder Zapper got a buff, a good buff, 20% base damage. That's huge. Before this update, the Thunder Zapper, and I'm not kidding, had the same base damage and a slower use time than the Flintlock pistol with musket balls. And then you factor in mana and low range, and the fact that this is supposed to be one of the good mage options for the beginning of the game, and it was just kind of sad. When I talk about early game mage sucking and being worse than other options, stuff like that is what I mean. But now, it's better than a Flintlock pistol. Low bar, I know, but any early game mage buff is fantastic. Underground Desert is a great biome for mages, Amber Staff and Amber Robe are easy to make, and the Thunder Zapper is pretty strong now. And clouds can be mined faster, very nice for Skyblock worlds. That's about it. Not a huge update, but it fixed some major issues. This update was just listening to player feedback and putting in features or changing mechanics to make the game better. And this isn't going to be the last hotfix. The reason I wanted to make this video is because I've seen a lot of players get very doom and gloom about 1.4.5. Maybe there's a change that you really dislike. I know whip stacking being gone is still very unpopular, or you think Relogic is just ruining the game. That's okay, totally valid, but remember, Relogic isn't a gigantic development team, and the people on it and their playtesters aren't going to represent the entire community. So, when an update comes out, there are going to be a lot of changes that they thought were good ideas, but people end up disliking. Like portraits. I like them, and so do a lot of other people, but a big chunk of the community did not. And it's easy to understand why. You're taking a low-resolution sprite, open to player interpretation, and giving it a canon appearance. What was previously up to the player to decide was now officially given, and if that appearance doesn't match what the player interpreted, they might not like it. It also does change the vibe of the game a little, and Relogic hotfixed in the option to disable them very quickly after the update. And there are also going to be a lot of things that they just didn't realize were problems. Personally, I think Relogic just doesn't know how to balance mounts. They have a long history of putting in absolutely busted mounts. Back in 1.4, the black spot genuinely made Master Mode easier than Expert Mode because it could just cheese every hard mode boss. It was supposed to be an infinite flight building mount, but they just didn't try to use it against bosses, so it moved at like 80 miles per hour. Roller skates, I think, are similar. They're supposed to be for building, but their mobility is just jacked up to 11. I'd expect them to get nerfed. It took months for the black spot, but enjoy them while they last. All this just to say, Relogic does care about the game and its players. Give them a little time, and I think most of the rough edges around the update will get polished. It's okay to be annoyed, but just keep in mind that the developers do listen to feedback, and there's a good chance that they're trying to fix it. Stay positive, not negative. The update has only been getting better with time, and I think that's a trend that will continue as more and more hotfixes come out.